All right, let's go over our next principle of design called balance, or the opposite, imbalance. With your shot list out, please put down for shot 18 an example of symmetry or asymmetry, or if you can, try to get an example of both. Symmetry refers to something that's centered in the middle of the frame, but it also can mean something that's equal or looks the same on both sides. For example, if we use this diagram or illustration of the monarch butterfly and draw a line through the middle, we observe that the size of the wings, the shape of the wings, the design, the color, the repetition of the pattern are the same basically on both sides. There's some minor differences, but the major similarities, the similarities are very prominent or obvious, so we would say this is symmetrical. Some people define beauty as having symmetrical features in the face. I guess the fashion world would be looking for a face that is very symmetrical, meaning both sides of the face, the features on both sides, like the size of the eyes, the pattern of the lips, everything is equal and proportional to both sides. But don't confuse this with me saying that's the definition of beauty. I'm just saying that's what some people regard beauty as, or an indicator of beauty. In fact, I think people with asymmetrical features on one side of the face slightly different can also result in a beautiful face. So here again, if we draw a line through and we notice both sides of the face are very symmetrical, very similar in size and proportion. This close-up of the flower, probably a macro shot here, is considered an example of symmetry. It's center-focused. There's a repeating pattern. That's another characteristic of symmetry. If we drew lines intersecting or splitting the sides vertically and horizontally, we would find that each quadrant there is very similar to the other ones. So this is a very symmetrical composition. And then even the keyboard pattern on a piano is considered symmetrical. You notice the 2-3-2 pattern in the black keys. That keeps repeating. Something that keeps repeating in regular fashion is considered symmetrical. Excuse me, let's get past this. And then asymmetry obviously is placing something off the center, sort of like that. This could be considered an asymmetric shape. Parts of it are a different proportion than the others. This pattern would be considered an asymmetrical pattern. It doesn't repeat, even though we've got blocks of black and then white space. That pattern isn't regular. The actor Owen Wilson, some people might say his face is asymmetrical. If you notice the nose, he's famous for his crooked nose. So if we divided a line going straight down his face, we notice one side would be different than the other. The placement of the subject here, the puppy, this is considered an asymmetric placement or arrangement, where you're placing the subject off to the side. The negative space on the left kind of pushes our eyes to the right, so this is a very common way to frame your subject in, very similar to the focus, frame, and shoot. Okay, also related to balance and imbalance is the rule of thirds, so would you put that down for shot number 19? And we will continue with our videos on rule of thirds next time.